This is the DM Dilemma from Blender Barbara. She writes, what is kitchen etiquette at work? This is my first office job, so I don't know. But I work out a lot, and I drink 2 protein shakes a day. Ooh. I have my first before work, and I bring a blender to work to make the second one for lunch. I've been lugging the blender from my desk to the kitchen every day, and one of my coworkers said I should just leave it in the kitchen. I worry if I do that, someone else might use it and accidentally break it. It's kind of an expensive blender, so that would be really bad. Are people judging me for bringing it and not sharing? What's the best way to handle this?
So I would think, like, if it's an expensive blender, it's probably the one that you're using at home to make the first shake, and then you've got to bring it to work to make the second shake for lunch, and then you got to take it back home. So if you're already doing all that lugging, you might as well lug it from your desk to the kitchen every single day. I don't see a problem with it. If your coworkers do care, that's their problem. They're your coworkers and not your friends. That is rule number 1 of office culture.
How about this, Barbara? How about you chew your food? Just chew your food like a normal human being. I would be really irritated if a coworker had a blender, because you know how loud that would be? You would hear the blender on the show. If there was a coworker here using a blender in the kitchen, that would be incredibly obnoxious.
It's only a few seconds that it has to be on, and most offices are not like this office where there are people live on the radio all the time, where, you would hear Barbara every day at noon. Yeah.
Oh, Barbara's having her shake again. It's like, Barbara, eat a sandwich, maybe. Like, you don't have to blend that. 601-995-1017. Jesse has some logical advice. Ever think about making the shake ahead of time? I've made shakes and smoothies for over 20 years, and they don't need to be made fresh every time. Everyone who works out knows food is just about a check mark for another meal down. I think it would be so obnoxious if somebody had their own blender and they would not share it. I think you at least have to leave it in the kitchen. That way, if I have to hear the blender being used, I could make myself a milkshake if I would like to.
No, I totally understand that it is not for public consumption, because I guarantee you someone will.
Nobody's going to consume the blender.
Well, but they're going to use it.
601-995-1017. Does Barbara have to share her blender at work, or can she keep lugging it back and forth from her office to the kitchen and back to the office again? If you have advice for Blender Barbara, who has a new job, she's never really worked in an office before, so she isn't sure about the etiquette with her blender. She likes to have smoothies for lunch, so she's been lugging this expensive blender from her office to the kitchen and back again every single day, driving her coworkers crazy. And she's like, one actually recommended that she just leave the blender in the kitchen. She's like, I don't really want anybody else to use this blender. It's expensive. I don't want it to break. 601-995-1017. What do you think that Barbara should do?
Got a little bit of beef with Lori's advice. She says, get a cheaper blender and leave it in the kitchen, which I don't hate that. She says, you'll come across as selfish and like you don't trust others. And like, good. I don't need your coworkers are not your friends. The days of that happening, the days of us watching Friends as a sitcom and believing that could be reality, it's not real. They're over.
601-995-1017 is our phone number. The one thing I will say, how many people are actually going to use the blender? Like, if there was a blender at work here, I wouldn't have anything to blend. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think people are just going to on a whim be like, oh, there's a blender there, I'm going to use that.
I guarantee you people would use it, and I also guarantee people would break it. I know I'm not going to totally tattle on someone, but one of our coworkers ruined the toaster that we have.
Really?
Yeah, because they put something with icing in there and didn't think about how the icing would drip down into the bottom.
What'd they put in there?
It was like a pastry with icing on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thomas says on the Facebook page, keep lugging that joker, especially if it's expensive. If it becomes a common fixture in the kitchen, even if it is yours, then you will have to try to take it when you leave, and you're going to have to prove it's yours and not the company's. Or like others said, get a cheaper one for the office, one that you're not afraid of being tore up or maybe even stolen.
I think you get the cheaper one, and that's the one that you lug back and forth. So that way your expensive one can be your at-home version. And like literally, There's one on Amazon that's 5 stars. It's $25. You can get it in any color you want.
Okay, so
So
that you
just do
donate
that.
to the office kitchen?
No, you lug it back and it's tiny. It's like a cup size. So like you just lug it back and forth every day. It's going to be easier to clean. And then if somebody does get into it and break it, no big deal.
Somebody just texted. Allison just said those days of being friends with coworkers are over. So are you and Adam not friends? Apparently not. I learned something new on the DM Dilemma this morning.
This isn't a traditional office job.
Adam and Allison in the morning.